Let's go.
Welcome to What's in the Pot. I'm your host, Sean Grande, and today I'm going to show you how to make barbecue chicken and fried rice Trini style, but we're using some Rectech dry rubs. Shout out to Rectech, shout out to Jody, the whole Rectech team for hooking us up with these beautiful dry rubs to try for our video today. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's What's in the Pot. Thank you very much for tuning in to What's in the Pot. I'm your host, Sean Grande. So for my recipe today, I'm using 5 pieces of chicken legs. I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon of Trinidad green seasoning. I'll post the recipe on how to make this green seasoning in the link above and in the description below, so you know how to go ahead and make it. This is what's going to give the chicken its distinct flavor. Once we season our chicken with this, we're going to let this sit in the fridge maybe 2 to 3 hours. And if you have the time, let it sit overnight, because that chicken's going to absorb all that flavor of that green seasoning. Now I'm using this Ben's Heffer dust. This is from Rectech. You can see got a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, ancho chili powder. It has a little bit of everything. So this is what we want to do to start seasoning our chicken. This is the second layer of seasoning our chicken, and be liberal when you're using some of these dry rubs. You just want to make sure the chicken gets coated, completely coated. So the back end of the chicken has that Trinidad green seasoning, and on the top we're going to be coating it with this Ben's Heffer dust from Rectech. So go ahead, season it on one side. We're going to flip it over onto the other side, and this is our chicken here. Has a nice thick coating on both sides. We're going to go ahead and pop this into the pellet grill at 350 degrees. So I got it on the grill. I'm going to let this sit on one side for 30 minutes, and I know my drip tray needs cleaning. But let's go ahead and start making that fried rice. So for the fried rice, I'm going to start scrambling up 2 eggs. You can use 3 eggs if you want a little bit more egg. But once we scramble up those eggs, we're going to start adding our rice. Now the rice I'm using is long grain parboiled white rice. You can go ahead and use jasmine rice, or you can just use regular white rice. I like parboiled rice. That's my personal favorite. So this is what I'm using for the fried rice. One thing is, when you're doing fried rice, make sure you either do the rice first thing in the morning and let that sit in the fridge, or let that sit out so it cools, or make it overnight. Now we're going to start seasoning up the rice a little bit. So we're going to do a little bit of black pepper. If you got white pepper, you can also use that. And the black pepper and the salt that we're adding, I'm using some pink Himalayan salt. This is just for flavor, so salt and pepper for taste. Not a lot, not a little. You just want to add the right amount, so you can go ahead and taste it. Now this is where Rectech comes in with our seasoning for our fried rice. I'm using this Asian Persuasion. This is Jodys Asian Persuasion. It's got a little bit of honey, it's got a little bit of sriracha, it's got a little bit of everything, man. These Rectech sauces are absolutely delicious. And now I'm adding about maybe 2 teaspoons right now, and I'm going to add a little bit more later on. Now it's not Trini style fried rice if you don't add some 5 spice. So I'm going to add half a teaspoon of 5 spice powder. This is the Chief brand 5 spice powder I'm using that I got from calobox.com. So you can use any kind of 5 spice powder that you can find in your local grocery store. Now I'm adding some soy sauce. Now I'm adding a little bit of this dark mushroom soy sauce, maybe about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons. You don't want to add too much because you don't want it too dark. Also, the dark mushroom soy sauce can be very salty as well. One thing I totally forgot to do is add my garlic and ginger to fry up with the egg at the beginning. So I just made a little spot so we can saute up, then mix it back in to the rest of the fried rice to give that garlic and ginger flavor. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of oyster sauce. Now you can use any kind of oyster sauce you have on hand, or whatever you find at your local grocery. I'm also adding 2 small bell peppers chopped. If you don't have the colorful bell peppers, you go ahead and add maybe about 1/4 cup of a green pepper chopped up. And I'm also adding about 1/2 cup of shredded carrots. Now the shredded carrots, the peppers, and the green seasoning. So that same green seasoning we used to season chicken, we'll be adding that in our fried rice. This is what gives that Trinidad fried rice and barbecue flavor. And our final kind of vegetable ingredient we'll be adding is some green onions. This is 2 stalks of green onions chopped up very fine. And we're going to be adding some more of this Asian Persuasion dry rub. Now what happens is, at the end, we want to give it a little bit more flavor. We want to give it a little bit more of that little bit of kick that the dry rub gives you. So we just want to put it right towards the end, so that flavors are just right there as soon as you taste it. And the final ingredient, anytime you're making any kind of Chinese food, the last thing you want to add is that sesame oil. That sesame oil will perfume the whole room. It'll also bring out a beautiful flavor in your fried rice or noodles or whatever you're cooking. Now let's get back onto the grill and check out this chicken. This chicken has been cooking for 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and give it a flip. You can see you're getting a little bit of a grill mark there. which is fine because, you know, on the pellet grills, you're not going to get a heavy sear because the temperature is not extremely high like your regular grill, which is cool. So we're going to flip it and we're going to put it back on the grill for about another 30 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and brush it on. I'm cooking this chicken for maybe about an hour and 10 minutes max until it's at least 170, 175 cooked completely. So I flipped it and I'm adding that Rectech sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. After that, flip it every couple minutes until both sides get that sauce kind of caramelized into the chicken. And this is our final product. You can see there the sauce is caramelized. You can see all that dry rub, all that green seasoning coating the chicken. Our fried rice is just on point. It looks delicious. You can see the veggies, you can see the egg. If you can smell it, man, it's delicious, amazing. So that's our meal. That is our Trinidad style barbecue and fried rice. And you use that Asian Persuasion, some of that Heffer dust. This stuff is amazing. And this barbecue sauce is a little bit vinegary. It's the perfect flavor for this kind of meal. Thank you very much for tuning into What's in the Pot. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.